Evening, everybody. Welcome. It's Friday, the 9th of July. It's a biggie this weekend, isn't it? It is coming home to Wembley Friday. Here we go. We've got a massive, massive show coming up tonight. But it's all about England and Italy this weekend. It's the Euro Final 2020. Even though we're in 2021, it's episode 60 of Barbers Arms in conjunction with the British Barbers Association and Wahl UK. We've got a fantastic show ahead of us tonight. So coming up, me and Gaz are going to go through our news bits, which should all be about England getting to their first final in 55 years. And then at around about 8:10, we've got Tim Collins. It's all photographers tonight, guys. We're going to have a real masterclass in photography. So Barbers, hairdressers out there, we're going to really get these guys through the paces and see what the photographers all want from us when we go do our collections and our shoots. Around about 8:50 tonight as well, we've got our second photographer. So we've got Tim Collins first, and then we've got Ayo Banton, who's done a lot of work for Wahl as well, some great collections. So I've got different questions for these guys tonight. It's going to be a masterclass on photography, effectively something different here on the Arms. Episode 60. Without further ado, please welcome my co-host. It's coming home, Mr. Gary Machin.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Simon Shaw. It's coming home, baby. It's that week. My voice has still not come back from Wednesday, but start of the show last week, everybody was watching. Thank you so much for watching us. 86.6 thousand views last week, so we're just short of 90,000. I'm sure by the end of the week it'll be 90,000 views. Thanks to Rob and Lee from Score and Barbers, all the way from Rotterdam last week. We had a great show. They were great guests. Really, really honest, insightful interview. I thought it was fantastic. So, Mr. Simon Shaw, we're on the verge of making history. We're in a final of a major tournament, of a major finals. What do you think about that then?
Well, I think I've changed this year a little bit. Normally I get myself really worked up for these games and these tournaments, and I have big expectations. And I think this year, because of COVID and lockdown, there's not been as much build-up or as excitement in and around the build-up to the Euros. And obviously it's Euro 2020, not 21, because it should have gone on last year. I like where they've put it across Europe, using all the different stadiums. You know, places like Baku look fantastic, St. Petersburg, Copenhagen. And I think watching us play, it just took me back to the World Cup in Russia, how good they were, how fantastic they were, and then they've done it one step further. He's done an absolutely amazing job, Southgate. I cannot, honestly, he's not everybody's cup of tea, but my God, anybody who watches football, anybody who's in England, we get behind these boys on Sunday because we could make history. 55 years since we've been to a national final, and it's going to be a biggie in Wembley on Sunday evening. Can't wait, Gaz.
Oh, well, do you know what, mate? I wish I was there with you in Wembley myself. I couldn't have thought of anything better. But we're going to have to watch it in our locals all around the world and all around the country. There's expats phoning me and texting me all the time. They're having a party in every corner of the world. We've got some great beers on tonight. We've gone Belgium tonight. I'm going to treat you to some Belgian beer tonight. I know sometimes your palate doesn't quite like certain things, but we're going to surprise you tonight. And we're going to start off tonight, because we better get the party rolling. We're going to start off with a little beauty all the way from Belgium. We're having a Leffy. So the one we're starting with tonight, for some reason I keep going off and I don't know why, but with Belgian beers, what I've found is usually they're all served in bottles generally, as you know. Have you been to Belgium? Have you ever had a Belgium stint, Simon?
Yeah, it's nice that. It's the first time I think one of my first ever school trips at junior school were down to Ostend, Middelkerk.
Wow.
I've been a lot of times since, obviously, and Sally headquarters are in Belgium. But yeah, nice place, Belgium. I don't like it. Cheers.
Well, we went to Brussels for a lads do, and I kind of overdosed on these guys, but this is a beautiful beer. Usually they're all in distinctive glasses. Have you ever noticed when you get served a Belgian beer, they've all got their glass as well. So good health, everybody. Everybody out there, this is to you.
Good health. Is it strong, this, Gary? Yeah, it is. Really strong.
It's not too bad. This isn't. This is 6.6. This was
not Carlin.
This is one of those beers that were produced in monasteries. So this is, I think they can trace their origins back to something like 1240. It's from Dinham, Notre Dame. I actually had a full session on this, about 4 days, and I had to go pictures on the third day. I had to go to the cinema just to have a little rest off it because it just goes down so well. I mean, most Belgian beers are pale lagers or, you know, the amber ales, and a blonde Leffy doesn't get much better. Beautiful.
Very nice. Nice. It's ice cold as well. It's really nice. But I can already feel it just knocking brain cells off. So let's get as much information out as possible. Follow us on our social media. Simon Shaw, Wahl, Gaz is the British Barber, or you can follow us on Barbers_arms. The website is thebarbersarms.co.uk. And then if you want to email us, it's barbersarms@thebritishbarber.com. Them's all our social media sites. Tonight, Gaz, a bit different tonight. And I was looking at this earlier today thinking, well, it's the first time we've ever had, we've never really had barbers on or hairdressers on in one show, but I think photography is such a big part of our industry.
Yeah.
And tonight with the guys, I want to get some tips for everybody, not only about collections and hearing about the famous people they've photographed and who they haven't, and some of the barbers that they've helped get winning collections, but also maybe some tips out there for people who want to be better on social media, how to take your photographs better on your phones. When I spend time with Ayo Banton, you know, some of the guys that work with him as well, they show you so many little tips and tricks of how to get better photographs when you're using your mobile phones. And everybody's got really nice phones now. There's not many people not with good cameras on the phone. So it should be good that tonight. It'd be nice for people to have an insight into two of the top photographers in the UK.
Well, these guys are top of the tree as well. We both worked with them. I've worked with Tim, you've worked with Ayo as well. So we should know them pretty well as well. But the main thing is anybody who needs any questions, any little, if you need to ask anything tonight, interact with us. We've got your feed up as well. All our regulars with us. Mark, Alison. We've got Vagabonds as usual. All the regular reprobates out there. We thank you for watching us. You finished early tonight, I'm guessing. I got away a bit earlier and called it the off license to get the beers. So it was a great finish to the week. I think there is as well. I'd just like to say, I don't know about you, Simon, but we've had a real feel-good factor this week. We've been really, really busy. And I'm sure it's down to the football. And, we've had some good news off Boris. A lot more countries have been added to the amber list. If you double jab, so get your jabs out there, people. If you double jab now, you don't have to self-isolate after the 19th. Some of these things are coming together now. I think we're going to have to wear them a lot more than we were led to believe. I think we're going to carry on wearing masks at work. But we've got some really, really good news at the moment, and it's feeling really great, So we just had Donny from Brazil join us as well. Welcome, Donny, all the way from South America.
Yeah, because they've got a final this weekend, the Copa America, Brazil versus Argentina. That's a big heavyweight clash as well. So both over in America and in Europe, 2 of 4 heavyweights getting to the finals, which is really good because it's to the form. It's what you'd expect: England, Italy, Argentina, and Brazil. So how many Phil Fodens have you done this week, guys?
Oh, I think we're about 8 and counting. We've got 2 more tomorrow. I've had to send out for more toner. That's how. The people who want a Foden cut, they usually got the darkest of hair, haven't you? So it's double bleach and toner as well. The bill's looking good, but some work involved, I tell you. So.
Yeah. I think people who are selling all these nice cool toners that we're doing really well at the minute for barbershops to be using them. I think it's going to go down really well. I think they've done really well as well. Just looking at the lads, they're all very stylish, they're all very smart. I know some of the barbers that go in and cut some of the England lads' hairs, but they all look really smart as well as playing fantastically well. I think the only one that I'd like to get hold of would be Jack Grealish. I think lots of Villa fans will be like screaming out now, but I'm still not sure of what he's having with this undercut. He's had it for too long. Probably needs to grow it all out now a little bit, maybe. Get his hair a bit longer all the way through.
Do you know what? He reminds me of Beckham slightly. You know, I'm not saying he's Beckham quality yet or he's even got that standing, but the Alice band comes out and, you know, he didn't care what he was doing. He always wanted to be different, didn't he? So, you know what I mean? He's good. And I think he's that same type. He wouldn't give a shit what anybody says or how much stick he got or how many times he got fouled. He's one of those guys who just keeps picking himself up and getting on with it. So I quite like that in somebody. Quite like that in a person.
I think that's been one of the pluses, though, with all of this, hasn't it? These lads have had no fear.
Yeah.
There's no fear in playing Germany. There's no history there. You know, they don't want to get in there and think about, we lost on penalties to, you know, going back all them years. You know, look, when I think my first ever, like, proper World Cup where, like, my son is now at 20-year-old, 1990. When we got to the semi-final then, there was so much history with Germany. We didn't have to beat them because it were all up here. These lads do. They don't even know. It's just like they've got no fear factor.
Do you know what, though? The thing is, though, half of them weren't even born then. Have you noticed how much younger and younger and younger? And do you know what I love about the team is as well? You know, they come out, they look like there's nobody playing just for themselves. They're all playing for the team. I noticed, you know, the guys in the you know, who were commentating on it, Righty and, you know, all the people who were talking about the team, they're loving it as much as us. They're fans themselves. And they've seen the hurt and they've heard the songs, but they absolutely loving it as a tournament as well. And they're living it through them again. And
Ian Wright pinched the living the other night because he didn't even want to, when he were asking him questions, he just like, nah, I can't concentrate on even asking. You're on TV, mate. And when you saw the cameras of him and the Chelsea manager, what's she called, they was just celebrating. It was just like, that was a magical moment that you're like, wow, this is just, it's just brilliant. And the street parties and everything. Now, for all our friends out there in Wales and Scotland and Ireland, I don't give a fuck anymore. I support you. I support you when you're not. And you're Scotland, you dirty bastards. You've lost. You've supported 4 different teams and everyone's lost because you support everybody who plays against England. So I don't apologise for talking about it tonight. We're super excited. Yeah, get a bit of stick for this, I think, Gaz, but I'm going to try and be politically correct, but I'm not bothered. It's coming home.
Can you imagine next week when we got... Here we go.
Well, listen, they've got to the final, and for me, it's not good enough that I want them to win it. And so it will be disappointing if they don't win it for me. I can't just say, well, we've done well. We've been there till the end. They've kept everybody's spirits up. Everybody... There's a different camaraderie with everybody in and around the places. It does make people feel good. No matter what they say about football, it does make people feel good. Even for non-football supporters, I think they've watched it. It's made the country feel good. But Italy, they've got guys through there to the tennis final at Wimbledon. Berretti. So they're going to have a great day Sunday, Italians. They've got the first ever Wimbledon men's finalist. He's going to play Djokovic. And they've got the Euro Championship final against England at Wembley. So it'd be a big day for all you Italians. Anybody from Italy watching tonight, send your comments in as well. I know there's lots of Italians in the UK, watchers at different times. Congratulations to everybody. I thought the winning penalty was fantastic by Jorginho the other night. Unbelievable. The best banner I've seen, though, at the Euros was this one, the big Italian flag there saying, stop putting pineapple on pizzas. And I think that's so true. Whoever invented putting pineapple on pizzas was shooting. It's like when they put, like, currants in curry. Fuck's sake, what's wrong with people?
Do you know what, though? And you say that, but I quite like it, I do. I like that.
Italians don't.
I love it. You know, but I'm not a pizza person. I don't eat pizza much. I mean, I know I've got the physique of a doughboy, but I'm not a pizza fan. But when I do, I don't mind the pineapple, and I like olives on it as well. So it's it's one of those.
One last thing before I get us guests on, guys. There's still an online petition there if we all want to have a bank holiday Monday, or you want to speak to people to have a bit more of an ease on Monday morning. I think the government are carrying out by saying, oh, we want to speak to key employers to make sure that they're going to make the hours are flexible for people to get to work nice and safe after carnage of all day Sunday. I don't know what you're like in your areas, but be safe out there when you're booking your things. And me and Gaz have been saying, in my local, we're not allowed to book tables. So we sorted it out. We've got people doing shifts there. So somebody's going in at 12 till 3, and then somebody else is going to go in by 3, 5. I'm going to go up about 4:30, 5 and just take it nice and steady for the match. But we've got it covered. So if you need to do things like that, make sure you work in teams, do it nice and sensibly, and you'll get your tables nice and safe. So tonight, Gary, it's all about the photographers, and we've got 2 of the top UK photographers joining us on Barbers Arms. So first and foremost, joining us in Barbers Arms for the first time, making his debut, spinning around. There we go. I think you're there, Tim. Yeah. Photographer Tim Collins, welcome to the Barbers Arms.
Thanks a lot, mate.
How are you, Tim? Well,
I'm all right. How are you? It's been a while.
So where are you, Tim? You look like you're in your camper.
I'm sitting in the back of my camper van just outside Manchester, having a brew.
I can't fault you, mate. I wouldn't expect anything other from you. Absolutely fantastic to have you on the show, mate. I know we've worked with you on the BBA on numerous times. You've done, you did our original Hall of Fame 2017, great event. You've done product shots for us and everything. But quickly, for the viewers out there who don't know you, Mr. Tim Collins, who is he? Where are you from? And where are you at the moment in your career?
Tim Collins is currently in an interesting crossroads. I am from the Wirral originally, outside Liverpool. And I'm living just outside Manchester at the moment. I've been travelling around a lot for about 10 years. I'm trying to get some grounding in the UK. I lived in Amsterdam for 5 years, which is where I started shooting barbers. And then I lived in Ibiza for a year. Didn't photograph many barbers, but I photographed a lot of interesting people there. And yeah, I've been quiet for the past year. Not done much photography for the past year at all. I've been working on a side project, and I'm putting together parties for people who don't get drunk, like daytime parties. So maybe for some old ravers like me and yourselves who want to go out on a Sunday afternoon and have a dance to some good music. I'm starting to do that with a couple of performer friends. I'm DJing, which I haven't done for 20 years. So I'm getting back into that. And I'm playing kind of like, because it's not designed for people who are getting off the heads. So it's fun party music. So I'm working on that. And that's due to be coming out. I'm going to be doing kind of like gigs with me and my 2 performer friends who are going to helping out as MCs, kind of thing like that, their own vocals. So that's what I've been up to the past 6 months, putting that together, and we're nearly ready to go.
Excellent. Sounds interesting. I mean, obviously, I'm a lot younger than you two, so I won't be going to these older raves and older parties. I'd be like, I'm still down with the kids getting in there and still trying to mix and match it. Tim, what we're going to try and do tonight, obviously, we want to talk to you about, obviously, you and your career and stuff, and but we want to try and make this a little bit educational as well for all our listeners that listen tonight or through the week. So questions will mix in between. But one of the things in photography, but also as well, barbering in particular, the last 5 years has had a massive, the whole persona of barbering, the way that it's perceived has gone up. And the barbers themselves have got up. It's a fantastic industry to be in. And one of those things that's helped to elevate that is social media. If you got any tips for people, because I still, even today, look, I get pictures sent to me at Wahl and I see people, some people do it really well and some people do it not so well. Have you got any tips for people when taking photographs of some of the haircuts that they've just done? A few little pointers, what you'd ask them to do if they were just going to take some photographs with a phone or a camera to get ready for social media. Any tips that you could pass on to them?
Yeah, do you know what? I think a lot of people make mistakes. You see a lot of barbers and they're really proud. They do a great cut and they want to photograph it. But all they think about, they're getting tunnel vision on just shooting the cut. But people, me and you and everyone else, when we look at a photo, we're interested in the whole image. You know, obviously barbers will take more interest in the quality of the cut, but you've got to think, what's going on in the background? What's the neck? What is the guy wearing a sloppy t-shirt, or is he wearing a scruffy t-shirt? Is there a nasty light? So don't just focus on the work you've done. Support that image with cool background. Make sure the clothes look smart and not too much colours, not too much patterns. Always stay away from like names, to be honest with you. I would never put any clothing brand names on a photograph. If you can have a flattering light, the better. Often you see them and they're very harsh. They're quite a cold light, so you want to be careful. What I mean by cold, like, you know, LED lights, they're very blue, very cold compared to a traditional yellowy bulb. You want somewhere in the middle. It's more flattering, makes the skin look nicer. What else would I say? iPhones are not great photographing people. So you don't want to get too close because it kind of makes this spoon-like effect. So I would say think about your background. You don't want it too cluttered. You want it simple background. Yeah.
Okay. Do you know what, Tim? I think that's, you know, great advice. I think from a point of view, I think the trouble with us when we're working in the salon or in the barber shop or wherever, people do a great cut and they just want to capture it at that moment, don't they? They don't think about the background, the lighting. You know, I mean, in our shops now, we have an area where we do that. But it always amazes me when somebody has a background or there's a half-drunk tin of Coke or an old coffee cup or something like that in the background, and you think, what on earth were you thinking? You know what I mean? It's something like that. But at the same time, I really find it hard, especially when you're working on clients and it's a client haircut rather than a photo shoot. It's quite hard sometimes because you don't have the time, do you? You know, and a lot of salons, a lot of barbershops don't have an area to do that professionally. And that's where you guys come in. That's why we want you to make our cuts look fantastic. My question to you, from my point of view, is when you're looking at an image or when you're looking at a subject or something like that, how do you get the most out of it? I know you're very good at seeing things that others don't see. You know, we've had photo shoots that you've done for the BBA. We've had loads of front covers over the years over these things. I know it's experience, but what do you look for in an image?
You just reminded me something I want to add to your previous question there, because you're right. You know, you don't, especially if they're in a rush, and you know they're in a rush, but you think, I want to shoot this. Well, listen, you've got that kind of barber chair there. You've got 360 degrees, which you can go around and you can rotate that chair. So you've got an almost infinite amount of options there, right? So get to know it. If it's your barbershop, practice every single permutation of rotating the chair and standing all around, and you will find there's a better light. No matter where you stand around that, some light's going to be terrible. The window's here, so you might want to stand the other side, experiment all the way around. And then after a few goes, you'll know exactly the best angle. And when you've got them in the chair, you're ready to go, and you'll get good shots then.
I think if you're using the same kind of background as well. I mean, some cameras as well, you'll have your portrait mode where you can just phase the back out a bit as well, just blur it slightly. But I always been a big believer as well is you do it in the same position all the time, same colour scheme, same logos, if you're using camera on your social media, because it doesn't matter what picture it is then. People know that it's coming from Roger's Barbers because it's got that colour around it. It's in the same position. They start to get familiar with those. So like you said, once you find your right position, use that one all the time because it's so easy. People haven't got time.
I agree. Use that one all the time. And then what you've got to consider about then is your Instagram feed. Because if we do settle on the best way of shooting someone in the chair or in the shop, the problem is then the Instagram feed may get a little bit boring. So don't keep your good formula of where you're going to shoot them, but have some alternative shots to mix into your Instagram, or it's going to look boring. If it's always the same corner of the shop, you need to vary those Instagram photos with some other things. You and the guys hanging out, close-ups of the products, whatever. Do you know what I mean? Close-ups when you're doing it. Get some to shoot when you're cutting or shaving, and then interject it.
Yeah. Well, there you go, guys. You've learned a bit there. Tim, whilst we're talking that, so let's take it on a little bit further then. So people come to you with an idea of Barbers, says, right, I want to shoot some photographs for British Men's Hairdresser of the Year, or the Wahl Barber of the Year, or the BBA Barbershop of the Year. They come with a collect. What do you look for? What would your advice be to a barber or a stylist who's going to come to you to shoot a collection? What should they be organised with?
To shoot a collection?
Yeah.
I think if you're shooting a collection, when you're shooting a collection, the thing is, what you're going to be judged against is you're not just getting judged for the quality of your work. As a photographer, right? If I do an amazing photo shoot and the light's perfect and my angle's perfect and the location's perfect and everything's perfect, but my model is not up to scratch, then it can only be as good as every single element is the shot in shot. So if one thing is pulling it down, it's going to pull the whole thing down. If your model is wrong, it doesn't matter how good your hair is. If you're competing in the big leagues, you're going to get, unfortunately, the whole thing is going to be judged, not just the work you've done. The quality of the photography is going to get judged against your hair. The quality of the model and the presence of the model, which is partly due to the photographer. If the photographer can't pull out some good attitude, some good presence in the model, then your haircut's going to get judged on that. Even if it's only judged subconsciously, we take all these things into consideration. What clothes are they wearing? Does it go with the hair? Or is the clothes competing with the hair? Everything's got to work in cohesion. So I would say if you're on your own doing this and you're not doing it with the help of a professional, get a very good mood board, a very strong mood board, what other professionals have done, who you know are good. They have been in the industry for a while and they're a credible photographer or production crew, and get 20, 30 photos. And you always want to be thinking, why does my photo not look as good as the ones on the mood board? Is it because my model's not up to it for whatever reason? Is you're not confident on camera? The clothes a little bit too, not the clothes competing in any way with the hair of the clothes. You know, I think to say what about the clothes, but the clothes need to be interesting, but you don't want to overtake that. They need to complement the hair.
I think from a point of mood boards as well is just a mood board would be where you would do a mood board for me. I would make sure I got like 7 different kinds of moods off the backdrop that we want to use. It would be like if we're going for a white, but I get 7 7 different ones that all look similar, so they get the idea. Makeup artists for the makeup on the eyes and things. You get eye makeup, so there's 7 or 8 versions of everything that you want. So everybody's in the picture. They know exactly what we're looking. The photographer does, your makeup artist, your stylist. Everybody knows. The only thing that people don't know is what haircuts you're going to do, because that's down to you. But to help the team that's there to get prepared, super prepared, I think that's what I'm trying to say to you. You need that before they even get there.
Yeah. It's one of those things, isn't it? You want to prep, you want to spend a bit of time preparing, spend a lot. And what you want to be doing is you want to start building your mood boards now. Don't wait until you're doing a shoot in a week or 2 weeks or 3 days. Start collecting now. Use Pinterest or Instagram and start saving. Yeah. This is how I want it to look. I've got hundreds, if not thousands, of photographs ready. So someone books me for a shoot tomorrow, I'm ready to go because I've got mood boards, which I've been collecting for years. And I can instantly draw on them. I'm always collecting photographs. If you want to create digital imagery, look at other digital imagery and collect it. It'll help.
I think that's a really good point, Tim, as well, because it's working with your photographer closely as well, though, because they can, you do this for a living as well, from a collection point of view, if it's a brand or if it's, even if it's just a personal collection from a stylist for a competition. I think to build that reputation with a photographer anyway, they see things as well. They frame things in a different way. But I think as long as you've got a mood board and a view of what you want, you might not have the finished actual collection that you want. You know that haircuts you do. You can actually work with the client as well. I mean, I know when we worked with you for the BBA, there was a lot of stuff that, although you had a director there as well, you have a lot of input in your work and you want to do the best for your client at the same time. So a lot of the time it's working with the client, not, against the client, if you like. It isn't about what you want. It's about what you can produce as well, isn't it?
It is, and it's about making that model feel good. I think as soon as they're in front of the camera, they're the star. Not you, not the barber, not the photographer. Your ego gets completely put on pause, and it's all about them, because the more comfortable and powerful they feel in front of your lens, the better the photograph will be.
Just talking about that, have you got any examples where you've got great mood board, great clothes, great model, great haircut, but you just can't get it out of the model? Yeah, maybe it's an amateur model. I know you do a lot of work of lifestyle photography and stuff like that. Has there ever been a time, have you got a funny story, have you ever been a time where you've got a total plank in front of you and you just can't get anything out of them?
Yeah. We always get there in the end. Sometimes we get there on the third shot. Sometimes we get there on the 100th shot. Everyone's got a different warming up temperature, I suppose, and there's different things which get people there. Sometimes humor will get people there, will get the model there. In that, it's about feeling comfortable and confident. And
usually, Tim, when me and Simon, when we get photographed, it's when they ask for us to take our clothes off, that usually warms us up.
I was interested in your comment before about making sure your clothes blend in, but fuck me, I'm trying to find out what camouflage jacket that is. It must be to a Malaysian tribal dance or something.
Are you on to it, mate? You're not working out.
Oh, now, yeah, that's cool.
That's funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
Looney.
Nice. Looney Tunes. Very nice.
It's my happy jacket. It's been raining today. Makes me feel happy.
If I had to ask you a question, in your mind, what's the best ever collection or campaign you've ever done? What's the best thing work that you could say, Tim Collins, I'll put my name to that. That is my iconic work.
I think the work I've done in barbershops is kind of when I lived in Holland, probably. You know, I know we had the guys from Scotland on last week, didn't you? And
yeah,
I shot them when I was starting out, and it was so popular. It was like the work I did there just blew up, and I don't know. I love photographing in a barbershop. I love being amongst the barbers. I kind of feel like a pretend barber for the day. I'm amongst it, you know what I mean? I'm proper close. When that Scorum shoot went out, whether that was 9 years ago now, something like that, it was massive. And that, and then maybe I got called back by Playboy do a men's Playboy lifestyle, I think they call it, and they paid me to go back and shoot the guys. So probably them. That's probably somebody.
Would you class that as bad luck, though?
Photos.
Would you not class that as bad luck, being a good fashion photographer and get asked? You get the email saying, "Would you come and photograph at Playboy?" And then it's all fucking dudes.
Would you believe it? I didn't see a woman all day.
I'd be gutted.
Hairy men. I was covered in hair. It was all men's hair.
Oh no. What's the next beer? Gary?
Right, so I know you're on a cup of tea now at the moment, Tim. So we're just going to try another Belgium, and I know you've travelled extensively, so you'll know this one. This is Hogarden.
Oh, okay. I always thought it was German.
Oh,
Belgium, is it?
So this is Belgium. This is what we call a white beer. So this particular beer, when we talk about Hogarden, this is 4.9. It's not too strong for you, Simon. So it's quite a nice one. This is fermented in the bottle. This has gone through all sorts of a checkered past. This particular beer, but it's actually been around since 1445 in different guises. But what do you think of this one?
Nice, crisp, very, very dry.
What it is with this one, this is a hazy beer, so it's fermented extra into the bottle. So this is a wheat beer. So cheers, everybody.
Nice, cheers.
Cheers, fellas.
Cheers, Tim. I still like my lefty first, though. That's so far, it's just in front.
Well, this one.
Lefty's a good one.
Very nice. We had ciders last week, and it... I struggled, to be fair. I struggled with an headache on Saturday.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with Leffe. Any of those sweet Belgian beers are great.
Oh, beautiful. Just getting on to Belgium and a roundabout, and I know you've travelled extensively. You've we're friends on Facebook, Insta, and all that goes on. Last year you managed to get away. I know you were in Italy and Poland, some great shots out there, and in Europe generally. And you've travelled all over the world. What's your favourite place and your favourite people at the moment? You know, the things that you've encountered, different cultures. I know you're a bit of a wandering star. You love being out and about. So what's the most inspirational place you've been to?
Tough question, isn't it, mate? I think it's kind of a lot of it's down to who we meet when we're there. I think, I love America. I like the vibe in the States. It's always fun and exciting to me for some reason. Maybe because it's so visual and it's been involved in, it's kind of like when you go to America, you often feel like you're in a movie because you're like, there's so many iconic things which people in America take for granted. For us, they only exist over there. Some of the cars on the West Coast of the States, it's just amazing. Some of them are amazing old cars, ones which jump up and down and all that. That is a thing. I photographed loads of barbers who had them when I was over there. It was just cool. I like the States. Oh, I don't know. It's a good crack, America, for some reason. I like being over there. Yeah. How about you?
I'm very similar. I mean, we've all travelled a lot, and the last 5 years I've travelled all over North America and into Canada. There's not many states now that I haven't been into. I think if the boss is listening, Hawaii, Alaska, Montana. I think they're probably 3 that we haven't done now. West Coast, brilliant. Love California, lovely. I like the Deep South. I like Atlanta. I like down into...
Just going to ask you about that.
New Orleans. Beautiful.
Yeah, I've not been. I want to go to New Orleans.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. And you talk about the cars. Lenny out of Atlanta is a barber I worked with quite a lot. He loves the old cars, the old Chevys, the old pickups, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's beautiful, beautiful place. Trouble is with the States or North America is they've got everything, haven't they? Beaches, snow, desert. They don't need to leave there, and a lot of people don't. So that's why half of them haven't got a passport. But yeah, I think it's and like you say, iconic places. We see them on the movies, and they take them for granted. So I think you've got it about right there, mate. I think that it's lovely.
He's normally in a terrible state every Friday, Tim, if I'm honest.
What was that?
He's normally in a terrible state every Friday night when we've finished.
Okay, Simon Shaw. Where's your favourite place then?
Favourite place to I've got to say Singapore. Singapore's one of my favourite places, definitely. I don't like America though.
Why do you like Singapore?
I think because it's such a I don't know, it's just such a beautiful place to be, so clean. And like you just said there, you've got that like city, you've got the beach area, you've got harbours, and it's all in a small area. And it's just some breathtaking sights there. And you've got the climate, you just got everything. It's just a really cool place. But I've got to say, like you guys, I work in America quite a lot. And every time you go to New York, you see something different. Chicago, Vegas, I could go to any of them now and stay and be comfortable. So, America would always be up there as well with any of them. Always.
Right, so we're getting to that time of the show. Just quickly before you go, if there was one thing you could photograph or one person you could photograph before you finished your photography career, what would it be, Tim?
Good question. No, I'd like to combine. Since you're granting wishes, what I'd like to do is I'd like to turn that wish into a time machine, but instead of using it to go anywhere in the future, I'm not interested in that. I would use that time machine to go back and take photographs. And I'd go to every gig, which you heard about. Bob Marley played in Ibiza once. The Doors played in Amsterdam. I'd go to all those gigs and I'd photograph them and I'd enjoy the gig at the same time. So let's start with The Doors and Bob Marley.
Fantastic.
Oh, your van looks really cool, mate. It looks very smart in there. I love your jacket. Love your candor tonight. So thank you for joining us on Barber's Arms. Where are you watching the game on Sunday?
I don't know, mate. Take it easy. Wherever. Local, home.
Yeah. No, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. Yeah. We're looking forward to it.
Yeah.
All right, Tim.
Thanks, Simon.
Thanks, pal.
It's been great having you on the show, mate. Lovely to see you. Hope we're working with each other very soon. And me
too, Gary.
Sorry?
It was nice to see you again, mate. I enjoyed chatting. Thanks.
Fantastic. See you again, mate. Thank you very much.
See you later, mate. Cheers.
Always different dynamics when you've not got barbers on or hairdressers on. Because I think from a photography point of view, most of the photographers that I work with are a little bit more deeper in, a little bit more eccentric, and you've got to get, if you're on a 3-day shoot, you think, oh, why weren't you like this on first 2 days? On last day, you come out your shell a bit. We've got 2 on tonight.
Well, you know what, with Tim especially, he's like a free spirit. And that's what I really like about him as well. But he's one of those guys, like he's just said, he's DJ now. He's doing raves, but with no drink or drugs there. I mean, that is outside the box, isn't it? You know what I mean? So
yeah,
really
fucking barrel laughs. He's got it all wrong, him. He does raves without any alcohol, and he goes to shoot photographs at Playboy, and he does dudes.
Wow.
Let's have a word with yourself, Tim, and sort this out. I loved his jacket, though.
Well, even though you thought it was camouflage jacket, did you think he was getting out hunted after or something? Did you see the rabbit? Did you see the rabbit's ears? I thought, where's he going with this?
I loved it, and I thought, if that's camouflage, it's got to be camouflage for a kid's party or something. quite. By the way, have you seen the size of these bottles?
Well, do you know what? When I went to get them and I sent it to you, I could only get a 750ml bottle.
So you cut shut. Oh. Yeah. I know what you're saying.
You know what? I really this brings me from the past, because can you remember the glasses that you used to serve with these? They used to be like a hexagonal square glass, didn't they? Can you remember them?
Yeah.
And he just brought back memories for me, and I thought, oh, we've got to have that. It's lovely. I
was in a hotel. I think it was Boringwood Hall down Devon, and they had it on draft. And I were there for a few days, just cleansing, just spa, no alcohol, nice food. Spot that first night. I thought, I'll start on all this tomorrow. About 4 pints of them, and I was completely trolled. I sat around the pool, dashing water off my head day after. I was in sauna 3 hours just trying to sweat this bastard out of me.
Well, I'd just like to say, if anybody wants to try these, this is a lovely beer. It's a wheat beer, that's why it's hazy. That's why it's cloudy. But it's actually got, I don't know if you can taste this in it, but it's actually got orange peel and coriander in it. And it sounds awful, I know, but it tastes lovely, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's nice. It's really crisp, and I've got some little Bombay mix here that I'm eating with it. I don't know if you can't see them. Anyway, I'm having them, and it's really nice because they are strong. The Leffy was strong, so it's warmed me up straight away. And that Duval looks even more dangerous.
Oh, well, that's the pièce de résistance. That's 8.5, that one, baby. We aren't onto that yet, though. We're all right. I'm being kind. We started on the lower one. I was going to put a little Stella in there first as well, but obviously Stella, you know the old. It's got a terrible reputation. The Stella has, you know.
Yeah, it does. You told juice.
Yeah, I aren't even going to say what the nickname is in the UK is for it, because we'll
WB.
Yeah, it's we might get banned off air, but it was so strong, Stella was, and guys couldn't cope with it, that they actually took it from 5.2% down to 4.6% just for the UK market. So if you have that in Belgium, if you have Stella in Belgium, it's actually still 5.2%. So.
And Desperados do it though. They're the daddies still. They're well in front of everybody.
Wow, you're a desperado, Kai. We'll have them. We're having them on the show later. I'm saving your favourite for later anyway. I just a little story. I went into Brussels. We did Brussels and then Bruges, and we drank so much of this Leffy. Can you remember a film called Fury with Brad Pitt in?
Brad Pitt, yeah.
Well, that was an iconic haircut, wasn't it? I mean, everybody wanted Brad Pitt's haircut for that particular haircut. And that actually was on in Brussels when I went to Brussels. There was about, my best mate was with me, Oggy, and my son, different people. And we actually, on the third day of drinking, we were there for 5 days. On the third day, we went to the cinema and watched it in a foreign language, just so we didn't have to go back to the pub. And it was like, and even the lads laugh now. And we said, can you remember when we went to the cinema when we went to Belgium? So there's a little story for you. I couldn't take it any longer.
You couldn't tell. Well, it's nice. It's nice. But I won't drink these on Sunday on my shift on the table watching for the big game. Guys, here at Barbers Arms, episode 60, here on Friday, the 9th of July. We're all getting ready. It's a big Euro weekend. England play Italy at Wembley at 8 p.m. on Sunday night. I'm sure I'd like to see all your photographs. Send them into the arms over on Sunday, any video clips, and hopefully we might be able to put them up next Friday night. Send your favourite clips already. I know you in Scotland and Ireland and Wales. I'll not be sending any photographs in. Although I did speak to Johnny King and he said he was going to be shouting for England as well. So that'll have just dropped him in shit with all his North Ireland mates. But I hope you all get behind the country and we all fetch it home where it belongs. Can't wait. I'll get some stick for saying all this. It was nice to see Kasper Schmeichel when he was asked the question, what would it mean to you two guys, the Danish guys, about stopping it coming home? And he turned and he went, has it ever been home? Now, I like Kasper. I'm a Man United fan. I loved his dad playing there, but that really pissed me off. So really, really happy. I'd love to speak to him and say, I bet you're regretting that because that would have fired our lads up. So well done, Kasper.
He was. It was funny. I thought he answered the questions really, really well. But as soon as he said that, I thought that'll be put up in the dressing room on Wednesday night.
I'll come on to it afterwards. But Diego Maradona scored a winning penalty against Italy in the semi-final of the 1990. At that point, he was playing for Napoli, and he was a superstar in Napoli. And the Italians turned against him after that penalty. Now, I'm not saying that that'll happen to Kasper, but you have to be very careful when you're in a country where you play and earn your sport if you're too critical against the national team. So, anyway, I think he just parried that ball back to Harry Kane so he could score that goal. Second photographer of the evening. I hope you're all enjoying this. It's a little bit different tonight. We've got a super photographer who works not only here in the UK, but also over in America. He's done 4 fantastic collections for us at Wahl. And his last collection that he did for Wahl, which was the Pure White collection last March, we got the front cover of Modern Barber. So without further ado, please welcome a good mate of mine and a fantastic photographer, Mr. Ayo Banton.
Good to see you, man. How you doing?
We're very well, brother. How are you?
Very good. You look well. I'm loving the glasses, mate.
Oh, thanks, man. I like your glasses as well.
do you know, Ayo, I don't know what age you are. I'm really bad at ages, but don't you think he looks like Joe 90?
That's before my time.
Yeah,
so
I think before all of our times.
No. You see, I said it to the lads at work. Some of my guys watch this show, and my son said, Simon had new glasses. I said, yeah, he's the new Joe 90. And they just went,
silence.
And I thought, yeah, I'm getting old now. I'm getting old.
Joe
lovely
90.
Lovely to have you on the show, Ayo. I've heard a lot about you. I know we haven't met, but absolutely stunning work. I know we've seen your work, but I haven't seen your work, if you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
Simon speaks very highly of you. It's great to have you on the show. How are you tonight?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. You know, it's been a great day. It's gone very quickly, but it's been a great day. Well, what's even better is just like, you know, I haven't seen Simon for a long time, so it's like a reunion. You know, it's like a reunion.
Well, listen, I'm sure through the night, one of my questions is, who's your favourite customer? But throughout the night, I think you're going to establish that you love working with me, pal, don't you? So we always have a bit of a blast.
You make it. I've got to say, you're a different kettle of fish. You make it definitely enjoyable.
Last time we saw you would have been last March.
Yeah.
And I think we worked with you the week before lockdown came into force. So that would have been kind of your last collection at that point, would it?
Yeah, that's correct. It went quickly. But what was amazing was the timing. We couldn't have shot quicker. We shot just before everything kicked. I think it was even a day before they announced they were locking everything down. No one was allowed to shoot. No one was allowed to congregate in the same place, models and whatever, creatives. I think the timing was unbelievable. So I got hats off to you.
Yeah, because I think, Gary, at that time we shot it down in our photo studios at Wahl, but Ayo fetched a team, probably about 6 or 7 with him down, and then put in then the team at Wahl that were there, and the models and stylists coming in and out, Rick Roberts. We had guys from Jamie Stevens there. So we would have probably had at any point 15 people in and around the shoot. So we were lucky to get it done when we did.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. The timing was incredible. I mean, you remember, it was literally the day before. They locked everything down. So, and then all shoots stopped, literally.
So that was, a year last March. It's a long time, mate, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just for everybody out there, and I have to do this for our guests because Simon just get bowls in there and he knows everybody and he just thinks knows everybody. Just quickly, for our viewers out there that don't know your work, Ayo, who you are, what you are, where you're from, and where you are at the minute.
Amazing. Well, here we go. In a nutshell, I'm a Yorkshire lad, born up in Leeds, born but not bred. I can't even use that expression anymore because I spent most of my time in London, so I can't use the expression. But yeah, so I spent most of my time here in London. Started in the beauty game. Was really lucky. I think I first started assisting an amazing guy, ranking with him, and that was just incredible. Him and Jefferson Hack, who created Days and Confused magazine, they showed me everything. The behind the scenes, the ropes, I learned so much from the two of them. And they were entrepreneurs. So they really showed me how the game works. Because there's one thing shooting things, but there's one thing understanding how the hell do you get a client? How on earth do you get a client? How on earth do you navigate through the creative space? And those two were formidable. Because, you know, they were heads down, didn't make any complaints. They just got on with it. They just went, wow, we want to do this tomorrow. This is what we want to shoot. This is how we want to shoot it. And boom, they did it. And that's why I was groomed. So I felt I'm not going to be any different. And that's why I'm fortunate enough to, you know, then I went to work, shoot lots of different campaigns, L'Oreal, Clinique. Then Elle magazine was amazing because that exposed me to lots of brands. And then boom, I met Mr. Man here, who was just knocked it out of the park, to be honest.
Well, I was just looking, I've just messaged our marketing team today to look at the shots. Because one of my questions to you, first question on Barbers, well, welcome to Barbers Arms as well, mate. Yes. One of my first questions is obviously about, in your eyes, how many front covers have you shot? How many covers do you say on the front? That's my photography. But you've done 4 collections with Wahl. In those 4 collections, you secured 3 front covers of different magazines, and 71 of the photographs out of the 4 collections have featured in major magazines across the world. So pretty impressive on your strike rate with Wahl. And I know you've shot some award collections for the Afro Awards and things. But in your own eyes, how many, you know, like, can you look back at your, do you keep your front covers? Do you know how many you've got in total? Is it like an achievement to get a front cover?
Yeah, it's a massive achievement. When you're starting out, it's really important. But that's all changed because now we're shooting things that are the front covers of the virtual worlds. Like, you know, we're shooting in the digital spaces now that are just as important as a front cover of a periodical magazine. And that's really important for brands to get that real wide reach. It's changing the world. But I still get excited about just doing a printed front cover. I really get excited about it. That's why when you announced this is what it was going to be used for, I was just like over the moon, because to me is still incredible. A printed piece on the front cover. That.
Did you get the last magazine?
I did, yeah, mate. I
don't know if people can see that, but you can kind of see the front cover of the Modern Barbers, which is the last shoot that Ayo did. Iconic shot, very strong, pure Wahl. We were just saying to the guy before, Tim Collins, and we're trying to say to the audience who watches as well about being organised at photo shoots. I think we take it to a different level in terms of what we have. Everything's printed out on walls, and you know, but it does help you guys when you come in because you've got a clear vision, haven't you, of everything that needs to be done.
Yeah, look, you guys, what's great working with you lot, you know what you want. You've done this for many moons, so you really know what you want. You know how to obtain it. And then you just bring in people like us to deliver that for you. But what I like about working with you and your team is that the vision is incredible. You've really got a sense of not just that end result, but the whole process and what effect it's going to have. What I love about how you guys think down there is the consumer. You really think about the people, how it's going to affect the consumer in a massive way. And that's why it's successful, because people really connect to it. And that's why shooting a piece of work, you can make it look as beautiful as you'd like, but it has to have some connectability. People have to be able to relate to it. and
Yeah.
we work together nicely.
Just moving away from, not so much moving away from, because it might be in this industry, in the hair and barbering industry, but who's the most famous person that's been on the lens that you've captured a shot of, and you could say, you know what, that's a big iconic shot I did?
I think
besides myself.
Wow. There's so many different people. I mean, no one's more important than the other. One of the things that I do feel like I'm really moved by was working with the fragrances for Kim Kardashian. That was really huge because we knew it would get massive reach. And it went through millions and millions of people. That to me was just mind-blowing, seeing the effect of work that's going to get that kind of reach and then sell millions of products. That was mind-blowing. And in one day, I think it was the fastest selling fragrance in history. Okay, Bar Chanel, the fastest selling fragrance in a day. That was mind-blowing. I've never seen anything like it. And that stays in my mind like massively, to be honest.
Do you know what though, Ayo? I mean, fair play to you. I mean, fantastic. Kudos to yourself. When you get involved with something like that, you know, the Kardashians are a brand in their own right. Do you really, you know, when you start that process, do you think, God, this is going to be massive? Do you get that feeling before you even start, and you think, oh my God, this is going to be massive? And do you have that? That's one point. And how much input do you have in you know, altering or affecting the image that actually gets put out?
It's massive, man. I mean, look, even if you were the social media person behind the scenes, you are part of a huge, massive, making history. Even if you're the social media person, and there was a social media person who was part of the team, and she just came in as a social media, but even that is massive, let alone having the creative input into the products, into how it looks, how it feels, is unbelievable. That to me is just is mind blowing, and then how that reach. You still are shocked at how many millions of people it's going to see it.
Go on. Sorry, guys.
So just getting back to that question though, did you realise as soon as you got on that set that you thought, shit, this is going to be massive?
Not immediately, because it was disruptive. Because think about a fragrance that no one had smelled. Think about it. Think about that. Think about that challenge. Or you've been in those scenarios, Sam, when you're trying to shift something and no one has actually experienced it. Let's be honest here. You're literally nervous.
Yeah, for sure.
You're shitting yourself, if you're honest, because you think, how on earth are you going to do this when no one's experienced that product? How are you going to do it?
Oh, I won't be nervous about showing it. I'll just be looking at her ass all the time. That's what I'd be nervous about. I'd be nervous about going, ready? Hey, baby.
Did you do champagne? Did you do the champagne butt shot?
Well, look. Let's be honest here. You're blown away by the fact that, think about a fragrance no one has smelled, because no one was ever doing that. Everyone always you sell a product because someone's experienced it, right? Like a fragrance. So all the big fragrances in the world, everyone knows what Chanel smells like. Everyone knows what Dior smells like. Everyone knows what it smells. But to shift something that no one had smelled before, how on earth? And this is the big challenge. How does one do it? Not via a retailer, on your own Instagram.
I know. It's
phenomenal, no? And then sell millions in one day. Send 10 million. Make 10 million in day one.
We'll sell 2 million now with how much we've pushed our fragrance tonight on this show. Fucking hell. Ayo Banton here at Kardashian Perfumes. You can buy it now exclusively. 2 for 1 at Booms. Get fucked. We asked Tim Collins before. It's the first time we've had photographers on, but obviously the show's had over 8 million views. And I know AL comes to watch us at Salon International. Not just a photographer, he's really into this industry as well. He understands what we do and how we do it. I asked him to give a few tips for people who use Instagram for taking shots and stuff. I actually think we're a lot further forward. I think there's some barbers out there that are really good with social media and they take the photographs really well, and they're almost two-stage. I say, let's have a bit more of a natural shot because you can tell the lighting and everything's done. I'm going to ask you a completely different question. A lot of barbers, and Danny Robinson, one who's got some fantastic digital cameras. I think his new cameras just cost him like 8K to buy this camera. If a barber's doing really well, or an hairdresser, and say, I'm really into photography, I've got a really good eye for it, take some great photographs on this camera or my phone, but I'm looking to get a professional camera, what would Ayo Banton say? What's the camera that you would advise for an hairdresser or a barber to get them great shots off? What would you advise?
Hands down, this is going to be the first to hear this, is the Sony, I think it's called the 7X. It is unbelievable. Now, this is coming from my colleague who only shoots on 10A. That means the negative is that big. He only shoots on 10A cameras. So, I mean, super quality. The other day, he was saying to me, oh my God, I've got this camera. It's phenomenal. And we tested it. And we could shoot with this camera campaigns on it. And it's really aimed at the amateur market. But what people don't know is that it's the best camera on the market.
This is why I love talking to him, guys. You get some great tips. So this is the Sony 7X.
It is phenomenal. I'll tell you why it's good. And not many cameras can match this. It's because it works beautifully in low light. Because if you're not a photographer, you're going to shoot in situations where you don't have a flash. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so sensitive to low light and still gives you beautiful results. It's got the back screen on the camera. It's got this beautiful tilt on it. So you don't have to shoot straight. You can put the camera down to chest level. You can.
How much would that be? How much do they retail at?
I recommend it to my cousin, and I said, go and buy the second-hand version because everyone's buying the latest version. Because now you've got 7X Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark whatever. So I said, go and buy the first one that came out. It's phenomenal. And he bought the first one, loved it so much, he's now on to the latest one. And so the first one you could get for, if I'm brutally honest, for about 700 quid.
700 quid. I've just got them up here now. 700 quid, but you could get the 7X3, and that's nearly £2,000.
Yeah, the latest one's about over 2.5K, but it's the best camera in the market, I think.
You're first, guys, on Barbers Arms if you are looking to get your photography a little bit more up to scratch, and you're already doing really well. You're ready to get that next bit and to move on. Then I know some of you talk about cameras at 10 grand, 8 grand, and stuff like that. But from a top photographer who does travel the world, and Sony 7X is the one that you should be upgrading to in your shops. Ayo, if you had to photograph any of the England footballers now, the current ones, big game on Sunday night, you'll be watching it, I'm sure, down there in London. The atmosphere is fantastic in the city. Have you been watching the football first?
Massively. Oh my God, I've been edging my seat.
Which England footballer out of the current 2021 squad would you like to photograph the most?
You're asking a photographer to photograph one person. That's really difficult, mate. You're offering me tough questions there, man. I love to shoot all of them. If they're amazing. But
one, we've got to pick one of the Swiss squad of 23 people.
I think Saka, I'd have to shoot him because he's got such a bloody baby face. He looks like he's shooting.
He does, yeah.
He looks like he's so young. I think to myself, but then when you see him on the ball, you think, holy smokes, this guy can freaking run.
Fantastic, isn't it? 19-year-old.
That's what I'm shocked at. I'm like, because I saw him on the first visual. I'm like, this guy looks like a baby. He's never going to be able to handle. But he outruns them. He's strong on his feet. I would shoot him.
Do you know what? The whole team looks so young, don't we? I mean, I think what's the oldest member? 29, 20,
28, 29.
Yeah. and you look at these young guys, and they're so fit, and you just think, like you just said, you know, you didn't think they'd be there, but they're playing in world-class teams anyway, aren't they? In the club sides anyway. That's why they're there. But they're so young now. It's just fantastic. I love it.
Ayo would do a photograph for Saka. Who would you like to cut if you got to cut one of their hairs?
Well, we'd have to sort Grealish out for one, wouldn't we? First? You know, just come on, please. Just do you know what? I think I mentioned I've watched all the football with my son. Simon knows my son. He works with me. You know, we have a drink together. I love him. And we both turned to each other and said, Mount had got a great haircut, you know, nice
haircut. Yeah. I think that must be, would it have been our friend Hamed A-Star? Because he doesn't
I'm not sure, but I thought Mount had got a really good haircut, you know. I think Saka, I'd like cut his hair as well. I mean, he's got a bit of a great haircut going on. He's got a bit of a throw going on as well. I'd like cut his, but I think. Do you know who's Mr. Sensible? Our captain, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. I was going to say the same. Yeah.
Mr. Sensible, you know, Harry
Kane. What would you do for him?
Do you know what? I take it a bit short, I think, but he's just. Yeah. He's just this guy who he is. He just rings of Mr. Sensible, doesn't he? He's a lovely, lovely fella. I love his work. He doesn't deserve the critique either, because if he gets the service, he'll score goals all day long, won't he?
Right, yeah.
But I think Mr. Kane needs a little bit of a do-over, doesn't he?
You know, for me, it would be Southgate, because I just want to cut his hair, photography, and have a chat with him and say thank you. And you know, you deserve United because it's coming to you. You've done absolutely unbelievable. So for me, it'd be Southgate to just have that moment to. Yeah. We photographed him. We cut his hair at this magical moment in the country. Ayo, we always say to people, and you know, what's the one person you'd really like to shoot? And that. I'm going to ask you a different question. Out of all the photographs you've ever taken, this could be personal as well. What's the most treasured photograph that you've got that you say that's my photograph and that's my cotton wool? I'm wrapped that in. That's mine. It's the most treasured shot.
Good question, Simon. You fucking bloody hell, you're good at this, man. I gotta say, and I know what this one is. I one time spent a month I spent a whole month in Sri Lanka in 2004. And you don't know this, Simon, because I've never told you this. In 2004, the tsunami hit. So I got there. The next day, the tsunami bloody hit. And it was unbelievable. I mean, I could tell you 20-foot waves like you've not seen in your life. So I had to. There was this young boy who he lost everyone. His mum, dad, aunties, sisters, everyone. Not to put a damper on things, but what was amazing is on Thursday, last week Thursday, this was 2004, on Thursday, I brought him over to London and he's getting married.
No.
Oh, wow.
I swear, he's getting married. I brought him over, he stayed in a hotel. We had the time of our lives. So this boy was serving me in the hotel, and this boy lost mum, dad, auntie, 3 sisters. And so what I've been doing is paying for his education. Since 2004, he'd graduated, met the love of his life, and he's getting married. That's
mighty, mate. That is unbelievable.
That
is unbelievable.
That brings tears to my eyes.
Yeah, I bet it does, mate. That's an amazing story. I never knew that, pal. You never once said that to me.
I kept it. I haven't talked about it to the start since the lockdown. I've really started talking about like living our lives, what we want to do, being the best people we can, and it's just I've just buried it. But this year I started talking about it, and to see this young boy live his life after all that,
yeah,
it just encourages you, doesn't it? You just think when you're complaining about the kids, they're like playing up, and and you think your life is upside down. You've not seen nothing. So
no.
This to me, this boy, is
amazing. You've touched me with that story. And we spent Gary, what we'll normally do on a photo shoot, and I encourage all barbers in there to do this, get a relationship with your photographer where you are mates as well. So you kind of like, he'll get me shots that I weren't even thinking about. And we spend a lot of time out of the studio on an evening. We'll normally stay over where we are, or he'll stay with us. And I think the one thing that we try to do is take the team out together, because you build up a big camaraderie, then you get more out of them through the day. So whereas normally people come in as a stylist, a makeup artist, they just do the job. I find on a wall shoot, that don't happen. Everybody is in, whatever you've got to be doing.
Yeah.
And I think that's the way that we do. But I've sat many times having meals with you, and that story's never been shared. And we do share some private stories, but touched by that, mate. Very, very well done. Very well.
You create really lovely spaces. I mean, not everyone can do that, to be honest. I work with people from New York to Tokyo to Paris and not everyone can create a space like you. You make me laugh. You bring humor. You can be very serious when you want to be, and just tell everyone, respect my, you know what I mean? I love it. You've got this amazing sensibility.
I've been told off sometimes lately, saying I'm too scary sometimes.
Who says that?
I was in the office last week, guys, and some of the girls have started coming back into the office and stuff. And there was some, I went upstairs and I said something like, "We haven't missed this when you have a stern word. We prefer you when you're all jolly." It's like, I think sometimes when you've got to put across your point, you do that. I have got that kind of way with me where...
Do you know what, though? I think there's I love you, mate, you know that, but I think there's a time and a place for everything, isn't there? And when you're heading something up like you do, and you're spending that sort of money, getting the caliber of Ayo and days like that, people need to know exactly what we want out of things, don't we, as well? So, but I only see the softy side of him, Ayo. I'll burst everybody's bubble every time we go anywhere. I just make sure everybody knows he isn't that bad anyway.
Oh my God, what are you drinking, man?
Right,
Gary, take him through it.
Good question, because we're just going on to our third beer now. What are you drinking, Ayo?
I've got a mature single, mature seasoned oak port.
Oh,
nice!
I love port.
I'm talking about it. Delicious.
I absolutely love port. As long as it's passed from the left when you're at the table, absolutely love port. Yeah. A lot of tradition in port as well. Yeah, we'll have that on Beers of the World. Yeah. I know we've messed up with production tonight. I know we were supposed to have Stella on at the moment, but Simon didn't get Stella, even though it's Belgium. We're still going. Now we're going for our really, de resistance, this is. Nice. Because this is the Duval, the devil's beer, apparently. So we're going to tip this. You have to tip this correctly into the right glass, Simon. So this is 1871. Now this is a heady 8.5% beer.
Nice.
8.5.
It's blonde. It's very nice. It's from Antwerp originally.
Wow.
It's a family-owned brewery, this one. Yeah. So it's still a family-owned brewery, 4th generation. Nice. Come on, baby, suck it up.
Oh my days. So what's the next on the horizon then, Ayo? How's the photography industry in London? Are we telling barbers and hairdressers that can come and shoot their collections with you? Yeah, are we up and running?
It's super exciting. So what people need to think about is that there's multiple things going on. So we've got one section we're shooting photography content. We got one section we're shooting video content, and now because of TikTok, we're shooting all these other bits of content. So there's a lot happening on shoots now, because you need to be able to walk away with enough content to market whatever you're doing, to take your work to the next level. And as you know, you've seen what's happened with the Kardashians when you do that. And I think we should do that with smaller brands, with middle-sized brands, with big brands, is that mindset. When you get on the set, you need to go walk away with so much content that you're able to compete in the market with great photography, great video, great ideas. And when you get that out, you'll see a difference in your products. If you want to see your products jump off the page, then you've got to put the work in.
Go on, guys.
Do you know what, Ayo? I think that's a great, some great information for smaller companies out there, smaller brands, barbershops especially, because they need to get, and I think people are really interested. Yes, they want a perfect, lovely, finished image, but they want to see behind the scenes, don't they? How it's got, you know, how people, who's involved with that, you know, how we get to that image as well. And I think for me, that's always been the kudos is always been, you know, you see a great photo shoot, a great image, you think, how the hell do they do that? You know, and I think this back side of the image, you know, the video, TikTok, whatever it is, Instagram, I really like seeing the backside of that image as well.
We love it. In fact, what's happening is that kind of behind the scenes, we call it Brechtian theatre, is really is growing in value. And I will tell you this much, right? So for anyone listening, that value of that is going up and up. They're actually big brands who are buying into it. So if you think you're a barber doing your stuff and you're working hard, let me tell you, there's people on the outside watching you. Oh, could these guys do a product? Oh, that's interesting. And they're buying it up. I can tell you that now. They're buying up brands. They're buying up small little niche brands, small little people doing their things. And so what people don't realize is that they need to continue doing what they're doing, working hard, creating these great cuts, believing themselves and pushing it out to the next level because there's someone watching. I don't want to name names on here, but I could tell you they're actually out scouting.
Do you know what as well? I think what it is with, and I've been guilty of this in the past with our brand, you know, you don't want to shoot anything that isn't perfect. You know, when we were talking earlier to Tim about, you know, you've got that client in the seat, he's really good looking, you've done a great haircut, and you think, I can't get the perfect shot, so they don't take it. You know, a lot of people out there, especially on different social media platforms, they just want content, don't they? They just want to see something.
Yeah.
And that eventually gets honed and polished.
Absolutely. Empathy. Like, so I went to go and pitch in LA to Mayweather. So I went to go and pitch, sorry, not in LA, but I had to fly to LA first, and then I went to Las Vegas. And I went to go and pitch to Mayweather. And his team were bringing out a major product. And they were like, when they saw us, we were pitching against other teams in the room, literally in the room. You had to see this to believe it. These guys were built like, they were actually frightening. And not much frightens me because I was a boxer. So I'm not really intimidated. And these guys were like, they were like blowing the agencies out. They were like, you got the wrong demographic, leave. They were like blowing them out in the room. My turn was to come up next. I was like, holy smoke. This is not a good look. Cut long story short, pitch to them. The leader stands up and starts going, that's what I'm talking about. And I'm like, holy, I'm like, thank God. And we won the pitch. And this was for a major product. And what I'm saying is that they're on the lookout for these. And then what it was empathy. I created a piece of work that was about empathy. It wasn't about trying to show off how beautiful the lighting is. It was about real people. And that's what they connect to. That's what they connect to. So to all the barbers, to all the these small brands who think about that. Think about your storytelling. If you can connect that, I guarantee you someone out there will see that. And you'll either get the investment or you'll get the followers or you'll get people that will connect to your brands. And I'm a firm believer in that. I've seen it work.
It's been intriguing again tonight, listening to your candid views on barbering, hairdressing, and your photography all combining together. Talking of followings, if you want to follow Ayo, it's Ayo Banton, ABD, Ayo Banton Digital on his Instagram. So some of these will be coming up on your screen as well. And it is www.ayobanton.com to have a look at Ayo's website as well. All contact numbers will be on there. If you fancy a photo shoot with one of the top photographers here in the UK, one thing is, don't be thinking, and Ayo, you need this as well, because when we talk about Mayweather, Kardashians, we talk about some of the brands that you've... To the barber in the towns and city centres, the local heroes that we call them. These guys have got, but they need to, because they might think you're a million miles away from them. Pick the phone up and speak to this guy. Email him, because he's not. He'll always work with you and always talk to you about what's your budget and work within what you can do for your budget. That's one thing I've always found with you. Some photographers will say, "Nah, I'm not coming out of the house for less than that." You tell AO your budget. I've always found that one thing he'll do is, and I'm sure Tim's the same, Tim Collins, who were on before, these guys aren't, you know, they want your photographs to be the star of the show, so it does work, so don't forget to follow them. Also, Simon Shaw at Wahl. You've got Gary Machin, which is the British Barber, Barbers_arms there, our Instagram account. On our website, it's thebarbersarms.co.uk, where you can catch all our latest education stuff that we did on our expo. They're still up there as well. And if you want to email us, it's barbersarms@thebritishbarber.com. There are our social medias. 8.5 million people have already watched the shows in 60 episodes. And on episode 60, we've had Tim Collins and Ayo Banton, two fantastic photographers. Ayo's a fantastic mate of mine as well, and one of the best photographers, if not the best I've ever worked with. But it's all about England this weekend, guys. It's a massive weekend here in Wembley for our English team. So hopefully, fetch it home.
Come on.
That's what we're all looking forward to. Ayo, it's been a pleasure to have you on, pal.
Thank
as
you.
always, great to see you. I can't wait to see you in London. I'll be down in the next couple of weeks, so
Lovely.
we should go. And I think it's time for you to take me out for some dinner. So we can go out and I might have something coming up end of July that you might want to get involved with as
lovely.
well. So I'll speak to you over weekend about that as well. But from me, I'll pass you over to Gaz. But great to see you, pal. Thanks for being on Barbers Arms.
Thank you, mate.
Ayo, it's been an absolute pleasure, sir. Thank you very much for coming on the show, giving us your time. I've heard all about you. Hopefully, we'll work together very soon and we'll have a pint somewhere in London very, very soon.
Let's do it. I love what you guys are doing. Honestly, it's phenomenal. I love Barbers Arms. That is right up my street. I think it's fantastic. And anybody should tune into this type of show. I think it's fantastic. Great idea, great concepts, great conversations. Well done, guys.
Thank
you very much, sir.
England,
come on. We're gonna take it, this guys. We're gonna take it. Mindset.
what happened?
Here we go.
Mindset. Take care, guys.
See you later.
All right, bye.
I'm getting excited. I wish it were tomorrow.
I do. I've got to go work tomorrow, though. That's the thing. It's I just, do you know what? It's that really, really like going back to school kind of feeling in your stomach, but really excited at the same time. It's like unbelievable. I just love it. I'm just going to have it. You haven't got any shop situation there, have you?
You mean you're just going to have one? You've been sneaking them in anyway. I've been seeing you slipping them in. You dirty bastard.
Well, I'm just going to have my usual little fireball here because I've just kept off it. We've been so busy in the last
fireball
show.
with this Duval is like treacle.
Do you know what though? It's nice, isn't it? I love it. I love it. I love the whole.
I couldn't.
Right. You know
so let me just sum this up tonight on the beers before you go. Love the Leffy. Big fan of that. It's got to be ice cold. Really like that. And that's a really nice 2 or 3 of them on a Sunday afternoon. That'll put you to sleep nice. That bottle was too big for me. I enjoyed it. It's a real nice crisp lager. More like a dessert lager. It kind of like, I'd have 1 or 2 of them maximum. This little bastard, if I drank 3 of them, I won't make even Euro final. They are potently strong. They are good night nurse. It's like alcoholic night nurse. That's my favourite tonight.
So the Leffy in your eyes has won, has it?
Leffy's number 1. I'd have to then go for the Garden for the number 2, and then Duval, even though it's a Premier Lager, and I know it's really nice and it's really strong, it's too heavy. I'm gonna drink it. I've already started slurring my words, but it's too strong for me.
Do you know what though? I mean, out of all those beers, I mean, the probably the blonde, the first one, is your session beer. The others are 2 or 3, and then you're probably not. But the only good thing about the Leffy is it's only half pint every time you do it.
Well, they have bigger bottles of that though, Gary.
I know, but when you get served those properly, they come in their own lovely glass, and they are beautiful. I mean, we've got to go to Brussels, we've got to go to Belgium.
What's your favourite?
Mine's the Leffy, I think. The Leffy gets
unanimous tonight, and the Leffy's the winner. I think we had different ones last week on the ciders, but the Leffy's the winner tonight. So we can actually, when we start and we open up a real Barber's Arms, Leffy's going to be a guest beer there, regular.
Oh, most definitely. But the thing is with the Leffy is, it's an easy drink, isn't it? It's a nice, easy drink to drink as well. So it's a beautiful, and it's we always have to have a wingman as well. So I think you've always got to have something in reserve as well, because I quite like and you like this actually, don't you? But you don't like.
I do like, if I'm honest with you, to have a Duval and some Fireballs in between, mate. I'm like, my headache's gone, but I know it's going to come back at some point. So they're like little shots of night nurse.
I'm getting past you this across now. Just you just need to have one shot of that. You won't have another headache tonight.
Oh no. Well, guys, it's been a great night tonight. Great with the photographers on. Something different for Barber's Arms. Trying something different. As I said last week, we had the boys in from Scoreham after our 2 weeks annual holiday. New set, and Rob and Lynn were great guests coming in last week, up to nearly 90 views coming in from that. Ayo Banton and Tim Collins tonight joining us from a different point of view altogether, for 2 top photographers here in the UK. Coming up in the next couple of weeks, we've got Tim Avery joining us from Tony and Guy. We've got Mitch Lucas joining us, who's the Director of Sales for the Cow Corporation, Goldwell, Roughman Products. So again, we're mixing it up a little bit different as well over the next few weeks. Bernard Connolly coming in, the clothes stylist. So they're all joining us over the next 3 or 4 weeks, coming on to the Barber's Arms. And maybe they're coming on to episode 61 as England, as the new Euro champions. There's one thing that I'm going to leave you off with. What Southgate's done, he's kept calm when all around him, sometimes any other England managers panicked. He's galvanised the team together. It doesn't matter if you play for Man United, Man City, play for Leicester, or if you're playing for Watford in the bottom 3 and you're doing well, it gives you a chance. And for any leaders out there, you guys who are running barbershops and hairdressing salons, the way that Southgate's managed this national team is something I've always believed in. Keep calm when it's getting a bit shitty, because you always know you've got a good team. Somebody might just be having a moment, but you always know you've got the seasoned pros around you, and you're always going to do well. Motivating people, but having that time to speak to people who might not be star at show. But what he did with Grealish when he did put him on Saturday night, he put his arm around and said, you're going to still have a big part to play. Remember this when you're managing your teams. Sometimes you'll have somebody who's the best cutter and earns the money, but building them younger people up. Look at what he's done to our national team. I wish all the lads the very best on Sunday night, and in particular our manager, Gareth Southgate. Finally, after 55 years, it has come home. The song was always about, so not to piss any nation off, it wasn't about the trophies coming home. It was about the game that we created coming back in 96, coming back to England. That's what the song was about, is coming home. But I actually really do believe it is coming home. Come on, England!
What can I say after that? All I can say is, everybody out there, have a great weekend. Be safe, stay safe. Keep testing. All of our company, all Rogers Barbers, I expect you in after lunchtime so you can have the morning off. It's coming home. It's coming home. It's coming. Football's coming home.
Come on, guys.
God bless.
The lads. Come on.